All right, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening to some. I know we've got people joining from all over. This is Andy White, Technical Support Director with Epygi. I will be your host through this training session, through the introduction to the basic configuration of the QX PBX. I will have just a little bit of logistics. I will have everybody muted for the duration of the call so we don't get any noise or feedback. I will do a chat session. If you do have some questions, brief, I'll try to answer those as I go. If I see them come up, sometimes that's hard to do. So I will try to save some time, or maybe even after the call, for some to take some questions. Can somebody just send me a message? You can hear me? Can you hear me okay? Somebody responded that they aren't able to hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Thank you for the feedback. If you're not getting the audio, there's a couple options. There's one for computer audio, and there's also should be an option for you can call in from your telephone. Okay, as far as the agenda, we do have a long session scheduled today. It's a 3-hour session, provided I can hold up that long, but we should be just fine. We may or may not take a short intermission at some point, see how we're doing. All right, so we're going to have a brief introduction into Epygi Technologies, just a few slides. We'll look at the website, the support portal, how we do technical support. And then we'll jump right into the product and with the installation and initial setup, where we'll begin looking at some of the QX GUI menus, the GUI being the graphical user interface. And we'll learn how to configure the extensions, the IP phones, the auto tenant. We'll look at the call flow for incoming and outgoing call handling on the FXO ports, as well as the on their SIP trunks. And then we'll wrap it up by looking at the call routing table and some maintenance tabs there in the maintenance menus. All right, a little bit about Epygi. We are a privately held company. We're not new at this. We've been around for quite some time. Many of you have been with us for quite a long time, and even have joined for maybe a refresher on the QX product. But we've started in 2000. Our headquarters is in Winter Park, Florida, which is just outside of Orlando. We have about 30 employees, mostly R&D engineers, support staff. The product design in the US, software testing and development is done in Yerevan, Armenia. All right, some of the benefits with the Epygi product line. We're compatible with all major SIP telephones, and we're adding and working on adding new phones every day. A lot of manufacturers out there, and they're always coming out with new phones, and so it's a busy task trying to keep up with those. But we are trying to get the new ones added, and each release we add some new ones. Installation, setup, maintenance is a lot of that is simplified with auto configuration wizards and an updated GUI interface. No annual maintenance for feature licenses. The only exception to that is the call center enhancement, which is the EAC. That's the Epygi ACD console, and the hotel option, which is the Epygi EHC. Software upgrades are free from the support portal, as you'll see as we go forward. And our products are all shipped with all the basic unified communication features readily available. All right, what I'd like to do now is we're going to take a look at the website at epygi.com. All right, we'll start with the you'll see we'll start with the premise-based products, and also the we'll take a quick look. Actually, maybe we'll do that first. We do have the we've recently announced at the IT Expo at Fort Lauderdale there in February. We announced the the ECQX, which is our cloud-based solution. We've had a lot of interest in that. So now the Epygi PBX that you're familiar with, we've made that available on a cloud-based solution. So you can have an instance of a PBX, and you can have that available. You bring your we provide all the basic features, extensions. You bring the phones. It's a month-to-month service, and we do have some. You bring your own SIP trunks. Okay, so we're not selling the SIP trunks with that. We're just providing the PBX service. Starts out with basic 5 phones, and then you can expand it up to 2,000 phones. We also have some additional tools to go along with that, which is the EC Mon, and there's also an EC Epygi Cloud. EC stands for Epygi Cloud, and then you've got the PBX, the monitoring, and the directory service. So those are all available. Check that out. You can get contact our sales team, and you can get a free 30-day trial on that. All right. So that's exciting. We've had a lot of interest in that. So now we offer both solutions, the premise-based and not one size. We understand not one size fits all. So you need to have both options out there. All right, today we're going to be looking concentrated at the premise-based PBXs. So I'm looking at the PBXs here, the PBX lineup, the QX20, which is our smallest system, starts out with 12 extensions. You can grow it to a total of 32 phones with a license key. This is a pure IP play in that it does not have any FXS, analog FXS ports, or FXO ports. If you need those, you're going to use a gateway to add those FXS or FXO ports, or even an ATA type device. And then we've got the QX50. Starts out with 16 phones. You can grow it to a total of 48 IP phones, and it does have 2 FXS ports and 2 FXO ports. All right. And if you want to find out more details about any one of these products, I'm not going to go through each one of them in full detail, but you just click on the system, and it'll take you to more details where you can see it has 2 analog phones, 16 IP phones by default, and you can add 32 with license key for a total of 50 phones in all. The one thing that you do want to look at is the number of simultaneous concurrent calls, which for the QX50 is 16 simultaneous calls. And then there's a tab here for features and licensable features that you can add to grow the system. All right, then we've got we grow from there to the QX200. Starts out with 24 phones, IP phones. You can grow it to a total of 200 IP phones, and it does have 2 analog FXS ports on it and 4 FXO ports. QX500, again, an IP play where it has it's all IP-based phones, no analog ports, FXS or FXO. Starts out with 100 phones by default, and you can grow to a total of 500. And then it shows the QX2000, but the QX2000 is actually being phased out. If you place an order, you're actually going to be placing an order for the QX3000. Same price point, but we've been able to move that to a product to 3,000 phones. All right, so it starts out with a couple 200 phones, IP phones, and then you can grow it with a license key. All right, and that is a server. All the other products are solid state, compact, been developed by Epygi, both the hardware. We've done all the hardware component design, layout, circuit board design, and of course our software as well. So they're 100% developed by Epygi. So you don't see that too often these days. And as I mentioned, they're solid state, which lends itself to quite a reliability factor. There's no moving parts except for a fan on, and even then we don't have a fan on all the units. Okay, if you do need some additional analog ports, for example, if you need some additional FXO ports, you can get that through one of our gateways, the FXS gateway, for example. The FXO 4-port gateway has 4 FXO ports on it, so you can add those. Okay. Then you've got the ISDN gateway, it's European ISDN gateway only. Okay, and then you've got the QX E1T1 gateway, which can add a single E1 or T1 port. And then you got a QX FXS 24 port gateway, which adds 24 additional FXS ports. I understand that's a lot of FXS ports. If you don't need that many, you may use just a simple ATA devices. There's a lot of those out there. All right, continuing to look at the product here a little bit. Just we do have all the units will come with you can put them on a shelf as standalone, or you can mount them on the wall. You can also get a rack mount kit. Okay, it's a metal enclosure for 4 units. Okay, and with that, it has the metal enclosure has 4 slots in it. So each unit would fit nicely into each one of those slots. Okay, with the exception of each unit contains would fit into a single slot, except for the FXS gateway, which would fit nicely into slots 3 and 4. For all those analog ports, it's twice the size of the other units. Okay, with the rack mount enclosure, it also comes with this. You can see this gray satin cable, DC cable. You can tie 2 units together so that one unit can power the adjacent unit. If one unit, it also lends itself to some power redundancy, so you can power both units from a separate power source, different backup power supply. If one power supply fails, then the second unit would be powered by the first unit. All right, so let's continue on. Just looking under integrator, just obviously you found your way to the training section. We do periodically go out and do training on site. So just keep that in mind, watch for some training dates coming up. All right, we also have for your business, if you're looking for case studies, there's plenty of those available. You can take a look at those. And just keep in mind that we're also, we're always looking for new and interesting case studies, some that are unique. I just want to reiterate that for yourself, you're going to get a nice professionally written case study that you can put and include in your portfolio. And then for your customer, they'll get a free 3-year extended warranty on the hardware, on the product, for their participation on the case study. All right, as far as our sales model, it's very simple. We sell directly to our distributors. We don't sell direct to end customers. We never have. So Epygi sells to our distributors, and the distributors in turn will sell to the resellers such as yourself. All right, and the support rolls up the same way. So if you install the equipment at a customer site, the customer is going to contact you. And in turn, if you have problems, you're going to contact your distributor. If you need to contact Epygi, that's fine. We're going to help the distributor, help you resolve problems that are out there. If you need ongoing support, we do have support plans for direct support, direct to Epygi, and information on those support plans is available, and they can be purchased. It's based on a ticketing system, so it's yearly. So just keep that in mind.